Good morning, everybody. My name is Todd Ronan, and welcome to the Ronan and Liz show. How are you, Liz?
I am doing well. Thank you. We had a fabulous CTT session this morning, mopping up the toxic emotional waste. And here we are. Now we're going into Jamie Foxx. There's just no limitations here.
Yeah, so I don't know if people are aware of this, but on April 11th, Jamie Foxx was hospitalized with an unknown ailment medical condition, and there's been little word from the media as to what's wrong with him. And I thought we could check in and see how he's feeling this morning.
Yes, let's do that. How are you feeling this morning? He's pretty exhausted. Excuse me. I don't feel like he's well at all. Something is wrong. His energy is down.
When you're in the hospital, it's tiring to sit there in bed and do nothing. How are his doctors treating him, and how is his overall demeanor?
I mean, he's happy with the doctors. For sure, he's happy with the doctors. And he has a lot of people coming in and out, as you do when you're in hospital. But he's he believes he's being treated very well.
How is his family holding up to this ordeal? If we can bring one of them in, maybe his most current wife, and see how she's feeling and taking on this burden.
Do you know who his wife is?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I don't keep up on those things, but
no, I don't either. Jamie Foxx's wife. Okay, I need to get a picture of her.
See.
He's never married.
So does Jamie Foxx have a wife? He's never married. Okay, well then that was a terrible question to ask. How is his daughter holding up? Corinne Foxx.
Corinne Foxx. Okay, let's probe Corinne Foxx. So she's very sad. She's very sad. What do you think's going on with your dad? She's like, I don't know. And I'm saying, what do you mean you don't know? It's almost like there's things going on, but is he he's a very private person. Okay. So does he talk about his medical issues with you? Not so much. So, he's one of those types of people that's very, very private, doesn't like to discuss or disclose what's going on with him to even family members. We all know someone like that, so that's not highly unusual. She's very worried about her father. She says, I feel like he's going to die. And I'm saying, really? You feel like that? She goes, yes, I feel like he's going to die. I'm not sure what's going on. And I'm saying, have you seen him? Yes, she sees him. And I'm saying, what do you find when you see him? And he's not well. He really isn't well.
Is this condition that Jamie Foxx is suffering something that is ongoing or something that came on suddenly?
Is this something that's ongoing? Yes, it's an ongoing problem. Now, what I'm wondering is, how sometimes stars disappear for a little bit because they're in some sort of rehab? Let me ask him this. Are you in a rehab facility? Is he in a rehab facility? No, I don't feel like he is in a rehab facility.
Does he feel like this is something that he's going to recover from?
This is something he's going to recover from. It's a long, hard road of recovery. If he does.
You mentioned stars being very tight-lipped. This is something that we see in a lot of comedians too. Norm Macdonald and just most recently Jerry Springer, who I guess is also a comedian, is they're on the other side now. Does Jamie feel like he has his life in order, and does he feel like he's ready to transition, or does he still have that fight left in him?
No, he doesn't want to go anywhere. He wants to stay. He says, I have a lot of unfinished business. You know, the funniest thing about the funniest thing about comedians is that a lot of them behind the comedy, you know, they lead such sad lives,
Right,
very
that's true.
unhappy
Look at Benny
lives.
Hill. He died in his alone in his home, and it took a few days to find him.
Yeah. And for him, I do feel like there's some demons lurking back there. For the most part, he's tried to keep them covered over. Sometimes they do tend to pop out, but you know, he says, I have so much work I want to do. Is this anything to do with like attempted suicide or anything like that? Is this an attempted suicide? No, I don't feel like this is an attempted suicide.
Does he have any other vices that he wants to share or that he doesn't want to share that he might fall back on? Drinking, any drugs, or other issues?
Things. He loves exercise, you know.
Okay.
And I feel like that's a big struggle for him because he likes to exercise. I feel like almost a bit obsessive with the exercise, which is, you know, that's okay. But of course, anything can become an addiction. I don't feel like it was an addiction, but I feel like he was quite obsessive about it. And I feel like he really is missing the exercise.
Oh, well, I'm sure that I couldn't afford him as a personal trainer, but it's good to have something you can fall back on. And we
Yeah.
all hope that he gets out real soon. He's a great comedian, a great entertainer, and the world misses him. So we send all our love and hope and healing to Jamie Foxx and his family during this time.
Yeah, absolutely. Is there any like date that he's going? I don't feel like there's any release date at the moment that I'm aware of that I'm tapping into. They're taking each day as it comes, is what I'm being told. Um, you know, I think this is psychologically, you know, as any illness or any sort of event like this, it really brings into the psyche, right? Because you have to be able to process lots of different things. You know, when somebody has an illness, sometimes they say, this is the best thing that ever happened to me because now I realize what's most important in life and I'm going to move forward and focus on, you know, my family or whatever it is that's really important. Most of the time it's family, children, marriage, things like that. But for him, he's really focused on his work. And I feel like he has so many projects out there, so many ideas for shows, ideas for podcasts, ideas for, you know, even something to do with possible animation. I feel like he's consulted quite a bit when it comes to writing different comedy lines and you know, as in adding into Hollywood different, you know, flavors, you know, different jokes, different styles. So I feel like he's consulted quite frequently. And I feel like he also had another tour planned um, that he was working on putting together. So he has a lot of work stuff going on, and that's what he lives for. I mean, he does live for his children too, but it's almost like he's a bit of a workaholic. Now, what I am getting, and here we go, Ronan, as predicted, there is a bit of depression that lurks behind, you know, behind his personality. And he is a wonderful personality, of course, so certainly that we all see. But he does get into these depressed moments, and it's hard to dig himself out of. And unfortunately, when you are ill or hospitalized, or you're getting treatment, things like this, the depression tends to creep in even more. Have you ever heard of those people? There's something called like a hospital syndrome. Have you ever heard of that?
No.
So hospital syndrome is where you spend so much time in the hospital, you get confused and delirious. Like hospital delirium actually is what it's called. Hospital delirium, not syndrome. I'm sorry. And you start to get really confused, and the doctors aren't actually doctors and the nurses aren't actually nurses, and then it turns into like, you're being held hostage there. More so in elderly people that this happens. But I'm wondering like how this being treated in this way, how this is affecting his mental status. And when that, when I probed into that, it's making him feel low. However, he's just said to me, I'm grateful to see another day. And that is something that illnesses and things like this can bring about, where you have to move into this space of gratitude. So I'm glad that he said, I'm grateful to see another day. That makes me feel better. And that means he's hopeful about the future.
That's good. We're hopeful about his recovery and hope he can get out soon.
Yes, absolutely. This was a good probe. Thank you.
Thanks, Liz.